Greetings to my senior portrait group from afar and anyone else who might be watching this. Our goal and challenge for this week is to really focus on interesting lines. I saw a lot of really great work from your submissions last week, and I want to take it to the next level of how do we really see interesting lines in the things that we're looking at, and how do we get them onto the page. First drawing, number one, will be a blind contour drawing. And I would like you to draw not only yourself, and I would like you to draw someone else. So if you're at home with family, choose a family member or somebody who's within your safe self-isolating zone, or you can FaceTime with each other. That's going to be 2 sketches minimum, one of yourself and 1 or 2 of someone else, and possibly a mix thereof. The second drawing will be similar to last week. It will give some of you a chance to catch up if you weren't able to do the work last week. In fact, exercise number 1 is going to help you considerably with exercise number 2. And the difference between these 2 drawings is that the first one, you're not allowed to look at your page, and the second one you are. Number 3 is optional bonus. It's for those of you who might have extra art supplies at home, who are just ready to do more artwork and are able to do more artwork. If you can, I highly encourage you to try, but I'm giving you a lot of freedom in terms of what materials you might want to try. Exercise 1, blind contour drawing. You'll see in front of me a piece of paper that has lots of really kind of funky textured lines. The goal of this exercise is to get the most interesting lines possible by really looking at what we're seeing. In this case, our subject is ourselves or someone else who's available for us to draw. If you don't have anyone else available, just do yourself a few times. But I also encourage you to go around and draw random objects that are in your home and possibly incorporate them into the same drawing. You want to allow lots of overlapping lines. So we're not worried about doing one line and switching to another piece of paper. All your lines should overlap. And this shouldn't really look like anything specific. It's going to have elements of you or yourself in there, but it's not going to come together and look like a true portrait. This first step is to just get your piece of paper, the tool that you're going to draw with. I'm just using a Sharpie so that you can see a little bit more clearly. But you can try this with pencil. You can try it with a number of different materials. I'm going to look at myself. I'm going to place my marker down or pencil. And now I'm really following along and trying to capture every little single bump and things that I see. The things that we tend to skip over when we're trying to do what we think is going to be a nice drawing. And I'm just following along my sweater. I'm at the neckline now, and I could just go straight to the neckline, but then I'd actually be missing the fact that there are little interesting bumps and things. Now I'm at the neckline and really slowing down. I'm bringing my marker along to the point where I see my jaw, following my jaw. I'm now up into my ear, and right as my ear wraps around, it's getting tucked into my headband, I see a few little threads of my hair. Then I see a bit of the headband, and then it really jumps into a bit of the messy hair. Here you're not worried so much about getting like every hair in place. You're getting the overall texture. If you see it pull in, if you see it make a bump, follow that, but obviously we can't grab every hair. I've gone off my page, but I'm not looking at my paper. I'm only aware of it in my peripheral vision, and so that I can have a sense that I might be wandering off the page. But the goal is to look at yourself and to not actually look at your drawing. The only time you're allowed to look at your drawing is to start a new line. And I could start anywhere on my page here, and I actually want my lines to overlap. You should have, by the end of this exercise, a collection of unusual and very interesting lines. Lastly, if you're using something like a pencil, make sure that you kind of have fun pressing, releasing. There are little places where you can kind of let the pencil kind of scrunch in, land here and there. You want to have as, whoops, that's not interesting. That's a good example of where I just went too quickly and didn't really follow along or focus on anything. But the actual demonstration of the painting will be in a time-lapse video coming up next. So it's a very quick overview of how to do it and then how you might add to it if you are able. I know some of you at home might just have a pencil. So this time we're doing the same drawing. I'm not going to do the whole thing here, where when I place my pencil down, the goal is to not really let go for as long as possible. And now I'm actually looking at my page, and we're not worried about like really getting every single bump of my sweater in here, but we're now trying to get a person in proportion to the best that we can by eye, without sketching it in, all freehand. And this is really, truly hard. I won't lie to you. It's not easy, but after a while you get used to it. It really asks you to look. What are we seeing? So here you don't have to go and get every single thinking bumping bump, but you want to say like, where can I press? Where can I release to capture kind of like what I'm seeing there? And am I actually able to have more freedom and also more care with my lines? Like, you can come into something like the hair and get a little bit more sketchy. But when I come to something like my headband, I'm remembering what I did before in the other exercise and trying to just follow my eye and notice little bumps in the fabric and where it's coming down. Un so weiter. Yep, so on and so forth. Again, when I'm doing these drawings, I'm like off to the side, so it's a little bit hard for me to see what I'm doing. Blah, 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 blah. So this is a pencil. You'll notice that I have sort of thick and thin texture, but I want to show you just a few other things in case you're inspired. A lot of art stores are still shipping, and I find one of my favorite tools is using a bamboo pen. This is one I've had since I was in college. It's really dried out. It's been my favorite tool for the longest time, and I finally did some research and found a whole bunch of these in different sizes, and this one doesn't even fit in my ink jar. Basically concluded that this one, which is made in the US, is my favorite. I've got a collection of inks here. And now I'm not really drawing anything, but I'm just kind of showing you that these can actually hold quite a bit of ink. And actually, as it starts to lose its ink, I can kind of play around with texture and play around with line. You want to make sure if you've got one of these that you rinse it out. Here I have two examples of the exercise 2 and really taking it to the next level. I would call this a multimedia approach, since I used pencil actually to start with the continuous line. And then I went ahead and added some ink on top, and then I even added some watercolor. If you don't have those things at home, don't worry about it. It's totally okay. And I would consider this a fairly quick sketch, and if I was going to keep going, I would actually take it to another level. So those of you who submitted drawings last week and even tried this already, I would say keep going, but take what you learned from the blind continuous drawing, blind contour drawing, and see what you can do to make it even better. This is the sample from the upcoming little time-lapse video that you're going to see. This is all done in gray ink. And I could even continue working on this, or I could keep it simple. I would like you to try for this exercise to really get something interesting with the hair, to bring in clothing, and you could even show more of your upper body if you like. Yeah, I think that's it.